Ava, thank you so much for having me over today. It was nice seeing your new place. Good evening, Olivia. I honestly never imagined that in the first meeting with my brother's girlfriend, I would be showing off my new house, and to top it off, you'd be here too. I thought it was just going to be a casual thing, but look at this. Well, I'm glad I came. I was actually looking forward to meeting Nathan's sister too. You know, the whole first-time meeting thing. It happens to everyone, right? There's no reason to make a big deal out of it. That's not quite what I meant, but whatever. By the way, though, I was thinking, you're still single, aren't you? At 30 years old? Yes, I'm still single. Is there something wrong with that? Well, it's just, I find it a bit strange. You're 30, you're single, and you bought a house? I mean, you have the money to buy a house, but for some reason you still can't seem to find a partner? You just gave up on marriage altogether? That kind of feels a little sad to me, don't you think? I don't really think being 30 and single is all that uncommon these days, though. But still, you bought a house as a single person. I mean, that's kind of unfair, don't you think? Unfair? Yeah, I can definitely smell something strange going on here. I just feel like someone more suitable should be the one living in that house, not someone who's single. Someone more suitable? Yeah, someone like me, of course. Nathan and I will get married and then we'll move into that house. What? You know, the house you bought? It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom property, right? And it's near the station with a lovely garden. I mean, that's amazing, but honestly, it's just way too big to live in by yourself. It would be such a waste, right? So Nathan and I are planning to get married and we'll move in together. I'll be the one living there. You should just hand over the keys to me when the time comes. Oh, and don't worry about giving me a spare key, okay? I'll be living there, so I don't need one from you. I'm going to have to decline. What? Honestly, I didn't want to bring this up because it's so sudden, but the truth is, yes, I'm single, but I do have a fiancé. I won't be living there alone. Wait, what? The deed to the house is actually in both my name and my fiancé's name, so it's not just mine to decide what happens with. Oh, really? Ava, didn't you just earlier talk about how a single woman who couldn't get married ends up buying a house alone? And now you're saying you actually have a fiancé? That's a little hard to believe, don't you think? If you're going to lie, at least make it a little more believable. Honestly, I'm not buying it. You were pretty spot on with your assumptions, but it's clear that this part is just a fabrication. Don't twist what I said into something it wasn't. You're just making up a story now. Is that so? Well, even if it wasn't exactly what you said, I guess I wasn't that far off, was I? I think you should focus on packing your stuff instead of making excuses for yourself. I don't need to pack right now. Actually, this timing couldn't be better. The lease on my current apartment is up for renewal, so it's the perfect moment to move in. It's almost like fate. I didn't say you could just move in there. Oh wait, don't forget, Nathan still needs to propose to me. This conversation is completely going off track.
Ava, are you okay?
Huh? Oh, Martin, is there something wrong?
You seemed a little down today. You've been on such a high lately, ever since you bought the house you always dreamed of. It's been nothing but good vibes from you, and you were even bouncing off the walls for the past few days. But today, from the moment you arrived at work, you looked a little off. Even while you were working, you had this gloomy expression on your face. It was really noticeable.
Oh, really? Was I making that face?
Yeah, you definitely were. Honestly, I thought about coming over and asking if you were okay during work, but then I got caught up with a sudden urgent client matter, so I couldn't get the chance.
Sorry for worrying you. I guess I just had to focus on work today. I didn't mean to seem off, but there's a lot on my mind.
No, it's fine. It's just that I didn't see any mistakes in your work, so I wasn't really worried about that. But hey, I did hear you had your family over to see the new house yesterday. How did that go? Was everything okay?
Yeah, that's right. I invited my family over for the housewarming just to show them the new place. But for some reason my brother's girlfriend showed up as well, and I wasn't expecting her.
Wait, Nathan's girlfriend?
Yeah, and when I asked Nathan about it, he told me that she works with him. Apparently she's been asking him out for a while, even though he kept turning her down. Finally, he gave in and agreed to date her, and yesterday was their 6th day of dating. But it was my first time meeting her, and let's just say it didn't go as smoothly as I'd hoped. Honestly, I felt like I was talking to someone from another planet. It was like I was having a conversation with an alien, or at least that's what it felt like.
What happened exactly?
Well, she really seemed to like the house, a little too much, in fact. She kept saying, "I'll marry you and live here with you."
Wait, what?
I know, right? It made no sense, but that's exactly what she said, and she was so serious about it, too. She's like, "I think the house would be happier if I lived here." She was completely convinced that I shouldn't be living there, and she was determined to make it her place instead.
But why? What was her reasoning?
Apparently, in her mind, the only reason a 30-year-old woman would buy a house and still be single is that she's given up on marriage. She said that women in her situation, like me, are the ones who buy houses alone because they've accepted that they'll never get married. She said things like, "The house would be better off with me in it." Even when I tried to tell her I was engaged, she wouldn't believe me. She was absolutely certain that she was the one meant to live there, and she had already started making plans to move in. It was like she didn't hear anything I was saying. I hadn't even given her a key, but I was seriously worried that she'd just show up and try to move in without any permission or anything.
And Nathan? What'd he say?
Well, that's the problem. Nathan was sick at the time, and he was bedridden, so I didn't get the chance to talk to him about it. He had no idea what was going on. I couldn't even really explain it to him properly because he was too out of it.
I see. That's rough. I really wish I could have been there for the housewarming, but I ended up having to work overtime. I feel bad about it now. I would have liked to meet her and maybe have a word with her.
I understand. Work comes first. I know how it is. I just wasn't expecting things to go that way. I didn't expect it to escalate this much.
Well, you know what? From now on, I'm coming over and I'll be staying with you. I'll make it clear that I'm your fiancé, and I'll make sure she knows that this house is not for her. I'll stand my ground and say, I'm here with my fiancé and no one is taking over. If she's really that insistent, I'll make it crystal clear that she's not gonna get away with it.
What? You're really going to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. If she thinks she can just waltz in and take over, she's got another think coming. I'm not gonna let her try and take your house away. This is my fiancé's house, not yours. Well, jokes aside, though, I do think it might be helpful if I show up and make it clear I'm the actual fiancé. I'm gonna move in next month, and maybe that'll convince her to back off. If I show up in person, she might realize this isn't just some made-up story, and she might back down. At least I hope so.
That's actually a good idea. You're right, it might make a difference if you show up in person. She might back down once she realizes it's not some fake relationship.
How about this? I'll come over tomorrow after work. I know you're buried in overtime until the weekend, so I'll go first and help get things settled. How does that sound? I'll go ahead and take care of things until you can catch up.
That would be a huge help. If you don't mind, could you go ahead? I'd really appreciate it.
Got it. Consider it done. I'll be over there to make sure everything is okay. Ava! She's here!
What?
She's already moved in!
What? How did she get in without the keys?
I didn't have time to ask how she did it, but when I showed up, she tried to run off. I caught her, and honestly, I didn't know what else to do, so I ended up calling the police. I had to hand her over to them.
Oh my God, I didn't expect it to escalate this much.
Yeah, I didn't want it to get that far, but she was being so persistent. The police came without sirens, so there were no curious onlookers, but I still talked to the neighbors across the street and next door just to make sure they weren't confused about what was going on.
Thank you for doing all that. I really appreciate it.
Well, it's gonna be my place too, so I wanted to make sure things went smoothly. But hey, Nathan's sick, and you should probably fill him in on everything as soon as possible. He might not believe what's been happening, but it's better if he hears it from you directly.
Yeah, I know. I'll talk to him about it soon. Thanks again for stepping in. That was awful. What was that? I was just watching TV in my new house when this tough-looking old guy barged in and yelled, "Gola!" at me. they called the police. I ended up being dragged away in a police car. It was seriously the worst. You're the one who was trespassing, so what are you even saying? Don't forget that your parents had to beg and apologize so that you wouldn't be charged, okay? What the? I just thought I was the one most deserving to live in that new house, that's all. And that's exactly what you can't do. I heard you were sent back to your parents' house in the countryside after that. I tried to get Nathan to come help, but he refused. What was I supposed to do? By the way, who is that tough guy? He said his name was Martin? Martin is my fiancé, actually. What? He's also a senior at my workplace. That day, I had to stay late, so I gave him the key and asked him to go ahead and head home. It turns out, he showed up at the house and found you there, having just barged in. Wait, you're really engaged? For real? Martin, good morning.
Good morning, Ava.
Thanks again for handling Olivia's trespassing situation the other day.
You don't need to keep thanking me, Ava. I've already gotten the message loud and clear, so there's no need for more.
Yeah, well, actually I got a message from Olivia last night.
Wait, really? How does she still have the nerve to contact you? Is her skin made of steel or something?
Maybe. She didn't seem like she was reflecting on her actions at all.
Unbelievable. That's wild. And speaking of which, I still can't get over the first impression she left on me.
Right? She was just sitting there on the couch in the living room with boxes of stuff piled up at the entrance like she had moved in, as if she had every right to be there.
Oh, yeah. I remember. She was watching TV, holding a can of beer, and eating chicken, laughing like it was her home. It was like she thought she'd already won the place.
Maybe she thought she was celebrating with a little victory party since I finally got the house. Honestly, I couldn't care less at that point.
I was speechless when I saw the window leading to the garden all smashed up.
Yeah, me too. The idea that she thought it was fine to break the glass just to get in because she didn't have a key was chilling. I'm going to have to send her the bill for that glass replacement later on.
By the way, what did you do with all of her stuff? I noticed there were about 10 boxes sitting at the front door.
Oh, that. I asked my brother about it. He managed to get the address of her parents' house, and they told me I could send everything back by cash on delivery. So I shipped it all out the other day.
I heard she was sent back to her parents' place in the countryside, too.
Yeah, apparently her apartment here, where she was living alone, was already conveniently canceled. She had already gone ahead and filled out the paperwork as if she were moving into our new home. So it looks like she had no choice but to go back to her family house.
I guess she tried to turn to Nathan for support, but he turned her down too, huh?
Exactly. It seems like she thought she could rely on him, but he wasn't having any of it either. She's got nothing left to hold on to now. Why am I being asked for alimony? This doesn't make any sense. Didn't you get the message to go through a lawyer? But it doesn't make sense. The message about how you completely misunderstood and bashed me? What's that about? Huh? You spread lies about me on social media. You posted, "My boyfriend's sister is so desperate because she can't get married, so she bought a house instead. What a joke. LOL." You see, Nathan and I are twins. We've been in the same school from kindergarten through high school, so a lot of our local friends overlap. Because of that post, your friends who learned about your social media from Nathan thought that I had broken up with my fiancé, Martin. What? That's what happened because of that? Yes, and it caused a whole mess. There was even an ex of mine, someone I broke up with because he cheated, who started demanding I get back together. He even stalked me and waited for me at the nearest station. What? Luckily, Martin stepped in right away and explained the situation. He made sure to set things straight and intimidated him enough to get him to leave, so it was handled quickly. Oh, that scary-looking guy? Yeah, all of this has been causing a lot of trouble for the past few weeks. The alimony claim I'm making is because of that. Wait, you can really ask for alimony over something like that? You'd be surprised. It's clear you still haven't learned from this. But I could also file a criminal report if you want. Wait, no, please, I'll pay the alimony and I'll reflect on it. Then stop contacting me. It's extremely annoying. Oh, why is this happening? What's going to happen to me now? I was told by people around me that I should file a police report, but in the end, it was decided that I wouldn't do so. This decision didn't come easily, as the circumstances surrounding the situation were complex and involved many hidden layers, most of which I only learned about later. The turning point came when I had a conversation with Olivia's parents, and they revealed some of the behind-the-scenes details that I wasn't aware of. To my shock, I discovered that Olivia had been engaged to someone chosen by her parents. This wasn't a normal, voluntary engagement that Olivia had willingly agreed to, but an arranged one, designed according to her parents' wishes. And the more I learned about the situation, the more I realized how much Olivia detested it. Apparently, Olivia had absolutely no desire to marry this man. She found the engagement repulsive, and she despised everything about it. She felt trapped, suffocated by her parents' decisions, which seemed to control every aspect of her life. Unable to bear the thought of being stuck in an arranged marriage she didn't want, Olivia decided to take drastic action. She left home and came to the city, almost as if running away, seeking some form of freedom from the pressure she'd been living under. Her departure from home was not just a simple move, it was more like an escape. She had been pushed to the brink, and this was her way of trying to break free from the expectations and control her parents had over her. It was as if she was trying to carve out a space for herself, away from the demands that had been placed on her. But while Olivia thought she had gained some freedom, her parents were having none of it. They were insistent that she should return and honor the engagement, even though she had no desire to do so. In fact, Olivia's parents were concerned about the way her rebellious behavior could reflect poorly on their family, particularly in the eyes of society. They didn't want to see their daughter's character tarnished, especially before she got married. They felt that if Olivia went against their wishes, it would somehow stain her reputation before she even stepped into her role as a wife. Their focus wasn't on Olivia's happiness or well-being, but on maintaining a certain image for their family. In their eyes, a marriage arranged in this way, regardless of Olivia's personal feelings, was the best course of action for both her and them. So, to make sure she adhered to their plans, Olivia's parents took measures to ensure that she would never return to me or my family. They presented us with a document, a formal agreement, that explicitly stated that Olivia and her family would cut ties with us and that Olivia would never again approach me or anyone related to me. In exchange for this, they promised a settlement. It wasn't just any settlement, it was a sum of money significantly higher than what one would expect in these kinds of cases. A sum that was meant to compensate for the inconvenience and emotional toll the whole situation had caused. It was an offer that seemed, at least on the surface, to bring closure to the matter. They were trying to buy peace, offering this hefty amount of compensation in exchange for cutting all ties with Olivia. The settlement was designed to silence any further attempts at contact, and Olivia's parents made it clear that they wanted to ensure that their daughter's future would go ahead as planned, no matter the cost. Despite the money and legal agreements, I couldn't shake the feeling that this was a hollow resolution. It felt like a situation where Olivia's freedom and happiness had been sacrificed in exchange for a smooth, quiet life for her parents. This was not the resolution I had hoped for. I couldn't help but feel sorry for Olivia, whose life had been decided for her in ways that she never consented to. However, the story doesn't end there. A few days later, I stumbled upon some additional information that painted an even darker picture of Olivia's situation. I learned, almost by chance, that the man she was engaged to wasn't who he appeared to be. In fact, he was deeply in debt, far more than anyone had originally suspected. His financial situation was a mess, and it seemed that his only interest in marrying Olivia was to gain access to someone who could earn money and help him pay off his mounting debts. The more I heard about this man, the more disturbed I became. It wasn't just that Olivia's parents had chosen him for her, it was the fact that he was financially irresponsible and had taken on massive debts, which had apparently led to his search for a young woman who could provide some kind of financial support. Olivia, unfortunately, seemed to be caught in a situation where her parents had thought they were protecting her, but in reality, they were making a decision that would only entrench her further into a life she didn't want. I can't even begin to imagine what kind of life Olivia was walking into, considering the financial instability of her future husband. It was clear that this wasn't a partnership based on love or mutual respect. It was a transaction, one that revolved around money and power, not emotions or personal desires. The worst part was that Olivia had no say in this arrangement. Her voice had been drowned out by the choices made for her by her parents and her fiancé. Even worse, as I learned more about the situation, it became evident that Olivia was likely being pushed into work that she hadn't chosen for herself. I don't want to speculate too much, but given the circumstances and the kind of person her fiancé appeared to be, It was hard not to think that Olivia might be forced into doing things she wasn't comfortable with. Thought of it was chilling, and I could only hope that she wasn't subjugated to any kind of exploitation or mistreatment. All of this made me question the extent to which Olivia's parents were truly acting in her best interests. Were they really trying to protect her, or were they simply looking out for themselves, ensuring that their daughter would fulfill a role that they had already decided for her? The more I thought about it, the more I realized how deeply ingrained these patterns of control and manipulation were in her life. In the end, I couldn't help but feel sympathy for Olivia. She had been caught in a web of expectations, debt, and obligations, and her own desires had been silenced by the pressure of those around her. It wasn't just about the arranged marriage, it was about the lack of agency she had in her own life. Everything had been decided for her, and she had been pushed into a future she never asked for. I couldn't change her situation, though. All I could do was hope that someday Olivia would find the strength to break free from these constraints, to reclaim her life and her voice. Until then, it seemed like her path was set, and there was nothing more I could do to help her. But deep down, I wanted to believe that she could find a way out, that she could escape the life that had been forced on her and create her own future on her own terms. If only she could see that there was more to life than following the path others had laid out for her. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next video.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey, Sienna, today was Kimmy's university graduation ceremony, wasn't it?
Yes, it should be over by now, I think. She mentioned she'd be going out for a karaoke party with her friends to celebrate, so she'll be back late.
I see. You're staying home, right?
Well, for now, yes, I'm at home.
Anyway, I'll be coming home early today. There's something important I need to talk to you about, so make sure you're there.
What is this all about?
I'll explain it in person when I get there. I also have something to give you.
All right, I understand. Mom, sorry for the late update. The graduation ceremony went smoothly, and I just arrived at a karaoke place with my university friends. Good job, Kimmy. What time do you think you'll be back? Let's see. We booked the karaoke for a 2-hour session, but we might extend it, so I'd say it'll definitely be after 9 p.m. Do you need me to pick you up? Are you sure you know the way back? No worries. A friend who knows our situation is heading in the same direction, so we decided to share a taxi. As long as I give the driver the address, it'll be fine. Besides, you're busy tonight, aren't you? I can handle myself, so don't worry about me and focus on your stuff. All right, I got it, thanks. By the way, how's everything going on your end? Well, you know, your dad called and said he has something to discuss when he gets back. I mean, I have a good idea of what it's about, but it's just such a hassle. Oh, yeah, I get that. But hey, maybe it's a good thing. Saves you the trouble in a way, right? True. I'll try to look at it positively. Anyway, take care on your way home. Will do!
Sienna? Don't you dare let your anger get the best of you and tear up that document I just gave you.
The divorce papers, you mean? The ones with your name already neatly filled in? So what's the deal? You come home, shove the divorce papers at me, and walk right back out without saying a word. Weren't you going to explain this to me in person?
I decided to convey it through a message instead. Here it is, I'm saying it now.
All right. I got the gist from the divorce papers, but what is it you want to say?
Divorce me, please, just set me free.
Set you free? What exactly do you mean by that?
Kimmy is graduating from university today, right? And after the ceremony, she's heading straight to the apartment where she'll be living on her own, isn't she?
That's correct. And?
Kimmy becoming an independent adult means that my duties as a parent are complete. Now that she's moving out, there's nothing left for me to do, is there?
Well, I wouldn't say there's nothing left, but I'll agree it marks a major milestone.
Exactly. But when I thought about what comes next, working day in and day out just to support you as you grow older and frankly become an old hag, I couldn't help but feel this overwhelming sense of emptiness about my future.
You do realize you're getting older too, right?
This isn't about me. Look, I'll be blunt. The idea of spending the rest of my life alone with you, just the two of us, makes me feel completely deflated. I've had enough. I want to be free. I want to be released from all these obligations as a parent and a husband. In other words, Kimmy is moving out, so you can stop being a mother too. Just disappear from my life already.
Oh, really? Well, whether or not I stop being a mother is my decision to make, not yours.
That's exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about. I'm telling you, I've lost all interest in you. I don't care about an old hag who's completely useless to me.
Oh, I see. This must be about that cute young coworker you mentioned at your job. Well, feel free to get all excited about her, but let me tell you, it's definitely a delusion. You're just making a fool of yourself, and you should consider both her feelings and your age before getting carried away.
I'm not saying I'm planning to do anything with her.
Really?
Just divorce me already and get out.
All right. Honestly, I've been thinking about divorcing you for a long time now because of these exact behaviors of yours.
Wait, what?
Oh, and by the way, the moving company will be here in about 5 minutes.
5 minutes? What do you mean 5 minutes?
Well, while we've been having this little chat, I got a notification from the movers saying they're almost here. It's late, so there's a surcharge for the nighttime service, but they were willing to accommodate my request. I wanted to get this over with as soon as possible, so I scheduled it for tonight.
Wait, what?
Thanks for everything up until now.
Hold on, are you saying you've already packed up and prepared to move out?
Oh, and thanks for the divorce papers, too. You saved me the trouble of having to prepare them myself. I'll drop them off at the city office's night reception desk before the end of the day.
Wait a second!
Oh, one more thing. This is important.
What is it?
This house is set to be demolished.
What? What are you talking about? You didn't even consult me about this? How can the owner decide something like that without my approval?
Excuse me? What are you even saying? The landlord is my brother, remember?
Wait, what?
Do I need to remind you? For the past 20 years, my brother let us rent this place at a ridiculously low rate. It was sitting vacant while his family was overseas for an extended period. He figured it would be better for someone to live in it than let it go to waste.
Oh, right.
Now that my brother's family's wrapping up their time abroad and coming back to the U.S., they've decided to rebuild the house. It's old and in poor condition, so it's time to tear it down. The rental agreement ends at the end of next month.
What the hell?
Anyway, the movers are here now. Bye.
Wait, what's going on? What am I supposed to do now?
Mom, the karaoke competition is over, so I'm about to hop in a taxi and head to my new place. All right, well, be careful on your way. By the way, during karaoke, Dad kept calling me over and over. The number of missed calls was insane. You didn't pick up? I was too busy singing to even notice. Oh, and he sent a text message at the end. He was like, "Your mom left. She's going to divorce me. Help me." Oh my. The nerve of him, especially after handing me the divorce papers himself. Unbelievable. Anyway, I did leave him on red and didn't reply. Good call. Oh, just so you know, the divorce papers have already been submitted to the night reception desk at City Hall. Got it. All right, I'm going to start unpacking the basics. You've already finished moving all your stuff? Yes, I tried to minimize my belongings, and since it's only a 20-minute drive from the old house, it didn't take long. Gotcha. Well, I'll see you later then. All right, be safe.
Hey, Sienna, why haven't you come over yet?
Oh, it's been 2 months. What do you want?
I gave you my new address, didn't I?
Oh, that. You mean the random address you sent me about a month ago? Honestly, I wasn't sure what you were trying to achieve with that. So what exactly was the point?
Why haven't you come to do the housework?
Excuse me? Housework? Who's doing whose housework here?
Who else? You're supposed to do my housework, of course. Housework is a woman's job. My mom's in a nursing home, so there's no one else but you to handle it.
Are you even listening to yourself right now?
Unbelievable. You really don't get it, do you? We were married for 23 years. Even though I had to constantly criticize you for your incompetence, you still managed somehow. And now, just because we're divorced, you've suddenly forgotten everything? I'll retrain you if I have to. Starting tomorrow, I expect you here every day.
Wow. Are you feeling okay, like mentally?
What?
Asking your ex-wife, an entirely unrelated person now, to come do housework for your home? Do you hear how ridiculous that sounds?
What are you talking about?
And retrain me? Oh, that's one of the most disrespectful things I've ever heard. Let me remind you, when we were married, despite us both working full-time jobs, you dumped all the housework and childcare on me while you sat back and criticized everything I did. You were the textbook definition of all talk, no action. And you think you were in any position to critique me?
Who are you calling useless? I told you before, housework is a woman's job.
Well, even if that's your twisted belief, you don't go asking a stranger to do your housework, do you?
But you're not a stranger. You were my wife.
Was your wife, past tense. Now I'm your ex-wife, which makes me just another person in the world. If a stranger is going to do housework for you, it's usually because they're a professional housekeeper or part of a cleaning service. That's literally their job. And let me make this crystal clear. I am neither your housekeeper nor your servant. I have no obligation or intention to do anything for you.
Fine. If that's the way it's gonna be, I'll just ask Kimmy instead. As her father, I'll tell her it's part of her training to be a proper wife someday. She'll jump at the opportunity, thinking it's a good life lesson.
Yeah, good luck with that. I wouldn't get my hopes up if I were you.
Kimmy, I have a favor to ask.
No.
Huh? Wait, hold on. I haven't even finished saying anything yet.
I'm guessing it's something like, as my daughter, you should come over and help me with housework, right? But that's impossible.
Why is that?
Well, since Mom isn't here anymore, the only person who can do the housework is me, your daughter. But it's your responsibility. Why don't you just take care of it yourself?
No, housework is a woman's job. It's simple, really.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that? Are you really saying that housework is only for women?
Listen, one day you'll get married, and when you do, you don't want your husband to think you can't even handle basic housework, right? That's why you need to learn it now. It's your responsibility, and you should take it seriously.
I already know how to do it just fine. You don't have to tell me what to do.
Oh, really? If that's the case, then starting tomorrow, I expect you to come over and handle the housework. That shouldn't be a problem, right?
I'm saying no. Do you even remember that I'm an adult now and have my own life to take care of?
It's not that big of a deal. You could just swing by after work, do a bit of cleaning, prepare a meal for me. The apartment I'm living in now is just one bedroom and the dining room and kitchen, so it's smaller and easier to clean. Plus, cooking for just me won't take that long, and it's not nearly as difficult as when we lived in a big house before.
If you think it's so easy, then why don't you do it yourself?
Well, that's because I don't have time for it. And besides, it's not as easy as you think.
And yet you think I should just drop everything and help you? It's physically impossible.
Physically impossible? What do you mean by that?
The thing is, the company's new employee training is almost over, and I've been assigned to a branch office in a completely different region. So I'm going to be moving far away soon.
Wait, didn't you just start living alone in that apartment near your work?
That was only temporary. The company provided it for me as an accommodation during my training period. But now that my placement's been finalized, I'll be moving to a different city.
So, you're moving even farther away now?
Yes, that's right. And just so you know, I'm bringing Mom with me too.
What? Why are you taking Mom with you?
Well, Mom's job is working as a handmade artist, which means she can work from home. And since she's single now, she doesn't have to worry about finding a place to live, so it's easy for her to move. Plus, she doesn't mind at all.
I don't get it. Why does she have to go with you?
The main reason is that I don't want to be bothered by Dad asking me to get remarried or pressuring me to take care of him. It's easier to just take Mom along with me. That way I won't have to deal with any of his nonsense.
Wait a minute. No, that's not what I was saying.
Oh, so I'm right, huh?
No, that's not what I meant.
Anyway, we've made up our minds. We're not going to take care of you anymore. We've had enough of you, especially since you don't even appreciate the value of having someone to help with the housework. Neither Mom nor I will lift a finger for you anymore.
Kimmy! But at least, could you please help me out and clean up my place a bit? I don't even know how to take out the trash, and the place is such a mess that you can't even see the floor anymore!
Maybe you should just drown in your own pigsty forever. Goodbye. It seems that my ex-husband's deeply ingrained belief that housework is a woman's job hasn't changed at all, even after our divorce. From what I've heard from a colleague of my ex-husband, someone I personally know well, it seems he's become quite unbearable. Apparently he's developed an odor that's hard to ignore. Whether it's because he hasn't been doing his laundry or if it's just his natural body odor due to aging, the result is the same. When you get too close to him, the stench is overwhelming. He apparently smells terrible, and it's gotten so bad that even his coworkers have started to notice. But that's not even the worst of it. It seems that he approached a young and beautiful female employee at his office with an inappropriate proposal. He tried to get her to become his housekeeper, thinking that she would take on the household responsibilities he was too lazy to manage. He persistently tried to pursue her, and this situation escalated into a huge issue at the company. The story that was shared with me went something like this. When his supervisor addressed the issue, my ex-husband's response was to blame his inability to keep his house in order on the fact that there was no one to do the laundry and no one to take out the trash. His supervisor, a man himself, was apparently taken aback by my ex-husband's comments. He looked at him with a stunned expression and said, "Why don't you do it yourself?" This reaction seemed to leave my ex-husband dumbfounded. He couldn't comprehend why anyone would think he was capable of doing these things himself. But the truth is, he never had to do them while we were married because he always expected me to take care of everything. As the situation at his job continued to unravel, it became apparent that my ex-husband's inability to adapt and learn how to take care of himself was becoming a serious problem, both at work and in his personal life. He had a long history of neglecting his responsibilities, and now this same neglect was affecting his professional reputation. His behavior, combined with a series of repeated mistakes, led to him being demoted and having his salary reduced. Word has started to spread that my ex-husband is now facing a recommendation for retirement, or, at the very least, a forced resignation. I have no idea how true those rumors are, but if they are, I can't say I'm too surprised. This is a man who has never truly grown up or taken responsibility for his actions. Instead of taking the initiative to learn new skills or adapt to his circumstances, he's always preferred to live in a fantasy where women, like myself, would just take care of everything for him. His inability to change or even to acknowledge that he has to take responsibility for his own life has led him to this point. I can't help but think that this is the outcome he deserves, though part of me is also slightly amused by how he's handling it. He seems so completely unaware of the reality of his situation. For someone who always wanted to appear as if he had everything under control, it's rather amusing to see him fail in such spectacular fashion. The man who used to criticize me for not doing enough in our marriage is now being confronted with the consequences of his actions, and it's clear he has no idea how to fix it. The whole situation has caused me to reflect on just how much he took me, and others, for granted during our marriage. His sense of entitlement, particularly towards household chores, was beyond belief. It wasn't just about laundry or cooking, it was about his expectation that I should shoulder all of the responsibilities that came with managing our home, without any real recognition of the hard work that went into it. He would always say that housework was a woman's job, as though that somehow justified his complete refusal to lift a finger. And even after everything that happened between us, he still seems to think this attitude is acceptable. But now, in his new predicament, he has no choice but to face the consequences of his outdated thinking. He's made mistakes at work, alienated people around him, and lost the respect of his peers, all because of his refusal to change. The reality he's been living in has finally caught up to him, and he's unable to adapt. He's so entrenched in his way of thinking that he doesn't even realize how ridiculous he looks to others. For someone who used to insist that he was right about everything, this is a significant blow to his ego. In some ways, it almost feels like poetic justice. He's always viewed himself as superior to those around him, especially me, simply because of his gender. Yet now he's the one facing ridicule and personal failure, while I'm moving on with my life. It's strange, though, because even though I've been through a lot because of him, I don't feel any sympathy for him now. If anything, I find myself feeling a sense of relief that I'm no longer involved in his mess. But what really gets to me is the fact that he still hasn't learned anything. His entire world seems to revolve around his own comfort, and he expects others to do the work for him. He never realized that in order to function in the world, you have to be self-sufficient. He's always depended on others to take care of him, whether it was his mother, his wife, or now some unsuspecting woman at his office. And when that support is pulled away, he has no idea how to cope. What's even more shocking is that even after all of this, he still can't understand why people are upset with him. His sense of entitlement has not waned. He hasn't stopped thinking that it's someone else's job to clean up his mess. This is the same man who for years would criticize me for the smallest things while never once lifting a finger to help. Now that he's on his own, he's unable to take care of the most basic tasks, and that's what led to the collapse of his career. As for me, I've moved on from all of this. I have no intention of helping him, nor do I feel any need to. I've been through enough, and he has made it clear that he is incapable of change. He's going to have to deal with the fallout on his own, and I won't be there to pick up the pieces. In the end, it's hard to feel sorry for someone who never took responsibility for their own actions. He had a chance to make things right, but he chose not to, and now he faces the consequences. I can only watch from the sidelines. It's his problem now, not mine, and I plan to keep it that way. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey Samuel, I just got home, and why are all my things packed up in a box? I didn't hear anything about moving. I was in the hospital due to a high-risk pregnancy. Can you explain what's going on?
Chiara, you're the only one moving out.
Wait, what do you mean? Why am I the only one moving?
I decided to keep the apartment for my girlfriend.
Your girlfriend? What are you talking about?
Her name is Caddy, and she's 19 years old.
19? Are you serious? So while I was in the hospital, you were having sleepovers with someone else? She stayed over, and now she wants to live here? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. She loved the view from this high-rise tower apartment so much after spending time here that she said she wanted to live here.
Wait a minute, you've already arranged for a moving company? When are they coming?
Yeah, I set it up. They should be here soon.
So let me get this straight. You've brought your girlfriend into our home? That is unbelievable.
Hey, don't interrupt me while I'm talking.
You don't get to tell me to be quiet when I'm hearing something I can't just ignore. This is a huge deal for us as a couple.
Just listen to what I'm saying. I'm living here with my girlfriend now. You need to leave immediately. Until you move out, I'm gonna stay in a business hotel.
So this means you're planning to divorce me?
Yeah, I guess that's what it comes down to. So please, just go ahead and file for divorce.
You think it's that simple? I am pregnant with your child. I just got out of the hospital after a serious health scare, and you're telling me that you've been cheating on me and now you want me to move out? What is this?
It's not like I wanted to hurt you, but I'd rather live with Caddy than with you. So just hurry up and get out. If you don't leave, Caddy won't be able to move in.
You see me as just a problem to be solved? You think I'm just in the way of your happiness?
Yes, that's right. You're just an obstacle standing in the way of our love.
All right. I see how it is. The obstacle will be out of your way then.
Wait, you're actually agreeing to this?
What do you think I'm supposed to do? You want me to stick around while you're making plans for your new life with someone else?
About the divorce papers, what are you gonna do?
From the sounds of it, you haven't even prepared them. Is that right?
Oh, well, just write your name on them and leave them in the mailbox. I'll fill out my part and submit them to the office. I also need to pick up the marriage certificate with Caddy.
I see. Sounds like you've thought all this through. The movers are here, I guess?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I should let Caddy know right away.
Just so you know, I'm not going to be the one who's left without consequences. You're about to find out just how serious this all is.
Caddy, starting tomorrow, my wife is officially moving out so we can finally live together in the tower apartment.
Oh, really? Oh, that's amazing.
I made sure to clear out my wife's room completely so it's all ready for you.
Thank you so much. I asked for that room and you made it happen so quickly.
You want me to help you with your packing?
No, that's okay. I'm in the final stages of getting everything sorted. Actually, I might have already canceled my lease on my current apartment, so I'm fully committed to moving.
Wow, that's really fast.
I just can't wait to move into your tower apartment.
Oh, Caddy, you really care about me that much?
Of course, I'm really looking forward to it. I'll show up bright and early tomorrow morning to surprise you.
Sounds great. I guess that means I should take a day off work so I could be there to welcome you.
Wow, you're really going to take a day off just for me? Oh, that's so sweet. Once I arrive, we can have some fun in that amazing room with the stunning view. I can't wait to cuddle up with you there.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see you. I'm really excited about you moving in and all the time we'll get to spend together.
I've been dreaming about this day. The thought of living together, waking up next to you every morning, it's just so perfect.
And I promise to make sure you have everything you need to feel at home. I want you to love living here as much as I do.
I'm sure I will. Just being with you makes me feel so happy. I can already picture us decorating the place together, filling it with our memories.
Exactly. We can create our own little world. Plus, I think the view from the apartment will be a perfect backdrop for our new life together.
Yes, I can't wait to see that view every day. It's going to be our special place.
I'll be counting down the hours until you arrive. It feels like a dream come true.
Me too. Tomorrow's going to be the start of something amazing for us.
I'm so ready for this new chapter in our lives. See you in the morning.
See you soon. I'm counting down the minutes.
You know, living with the person you love and being able to be affectionate all the time is just the best. I've been using up all my remaining paid leave from work just to spend time with Caddy and enjoy being together.
Samuel, you've been off work for 2 whole weeks now.
Well, I properly requested the time off, so what's the big deal?
I suppose that's true, but you know, I was just about to reach out to you.
Oh, what's up?
Have you submitted the divorce papers I sent you? You know, the ones you were supposed to file with the office?
Wait, what?
You remember the letter I included with the divorce papers? It said, please let me know once you've submitted them to the office.
Oh, right, I forgot about that.
What do you mean, you haven't submitted them yet?
I got so caught up in being affectionate with Caddy that I completely lost track of it.
What kind of ridiculous excuse is that? Seriously.
Actually, since Caddy moved into the tower apartment, I haven't even stepped outside once. I've been too busy enjoying my time with her.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. After all that pushing to get it done, you've really let it slip your mind? It's just unbelievable.
Well, just come by and pick it up then.
What? You want me to come over right now?
Yeah, I really don't want to be apart from Caddy for even a second right now.
You know, I just got out of the hospital after being in for a high-risk pregnancy, right? You can't just expect me to handle all this. I'm already overwhelmed with the stress from your cheating and the divorce. Now you want me to deal with moving on top of that? Please, don't add any more stress to my plate.
What's the matter? Are you not going to come get it? Because if you don't, you won't be able to get divorced. Are you okay with that?
That's not something you should be saying. You are seriously out of your mind.
So are you coming to get the papers or not?
Oh, wait a second. It doesn't have to be me who picks them up, does it?
I guess it doesn't have to be you.
In that case, there's someone perfect who can go there soon. You can just give the papers to them.
Oh, really? That sounds good. And I just got a message from Caddy asking for our 3rd round of affection today, so I have to go.
Wow, it's like you're completely obsessed. I can't even process how you've turned into this person.
What can I say? It's just been so nice spending time with her that I'm kind of in a daze right now. It's hard to focus on anything else. Hey, Chiara, what's this about alimony and child support? You're seriously asking for alimony from Caddy, too?
You've heard all about it from your lawyer, haven't you?
No matter how much I hear, I can't accept it. I know you're jealous of the love that Caddy and I share, but this is just pathetic.
Oh, come on. The common understanding is that the person who cheated has to pay alimony to the person who was cheated on. And it's also completely reasonable for child support to be paid when a divorce occurs. That's just how it works.
Caddy and I are genuinely in love. At this point, you're the one who's become my cheating partner, so if anyone should be paying alimony, it should be you.
Just so you know, the lawyer is still here.
Yeah, I know. He just went to the restroom and is currently texting me.
Listen, you two seem to be living in some kind of fantasy world, completely unaware of your current situation. I've actually asked the lawyer to explain everything to you in detail until you finally understand.
What?
You're eager to marry your beloved Katie, right? Then you need to settle your responsibilities properly for betraying me. Get this sorted out cleanly and quickly.
But I never thought it would cost this much to get a divorce.
It's ridiculous that you're whining about something that is completely normal when getting divorced.
What do you mean by that?
I'm saying you need to take responsibility for your actions without making a fuss. It's really not that hard to understand.
All I want is to marry Caddy.
You need to accept the reality that you're trying to throw away something that is much more significant than just me.
What do you mean?
What you're trying to throw away isn't just me. You're also trying to abandon our child who is about to be born. That's the lowest thing a father can do, and you should never forget that.
I didn't mean to.
You need to face the truth. Being a father means taking responsibility for your actions, even if it's hard. You're choosing to prioritize your relationship with Katie over your own child and me. That's an awful decision.
But I thought we could figure something out.
Figuring something out means facing the consequences of your actions. You can't just run away from your responsibilities because you've found someone new. It doesn't work that way.
It's just so complicated.
Life is complicated, but that doesn't excuse abandoning your responsibilities. I want you to think deeply about what you're doing. Once you're a parent, your priorities change. You need to understand the weight of your decisions.
I know, but...
No buts. Just think about what it means to be a father and to be a decent human being. Your actions have consequences, and it's time to face them. I've transferred the alimony and child support. You don't need to keep contacting me about it. I've been informed through my lawyer.
Damn it! I ended up borrowing money from my parents because of this.
Your parents told me they apologized for you. They even took money from their hard-earned retirement savings to help you out. On top of that, they had to cover the costs for your cheating partner as well. You better make sure you pay them back.
Well, it's not like I have no means to pay them back, so I guess it's fine. I just thought it would be difficult to gather the money by the payment deadline, so I had no choice but to take out a loan temporarily.
Oh, is that so?
I'm planning to talk to Caddy about this, but I think I'm going to put the tower apartment up for sale.
Wait, what?
Even though it's a used property, the higher floors of the tower should fetch a decent price. If all goes well, I might be able to pay off the debt and even have some left over.
Have you lost your mind?
What do you mean?
That apartment is a rental, you know.
Huh? They have rentals in a tower like that?
Of course they do. Why do you think you've been living there all this time?
I thought you could only buy apartments in a tower. I assumed you bought it, and that since we got married, it would automatically belong to me as your husband.
How could you have such mistaken belief?
Wait, what? Why did I think that?
You always act on your baseless assumptions and unreliable instincts. Anyway, it's a rental. Plus, it's in my name.
What?
You moved into the apartment I was living in before we got married. That means you don't have any right to sell it. And since we're getting a divorce, you can't live there anymore either.
Wait!
Well, you could continue living there if you change the lease into your name.
But by the way, how much is the rent?
It's $5,200 a month.
5,200? That's almost 3 times my monthly income. There's no way I can afford that.
You haven't forgotten that I run a business with my best friend, right? Sure, I'm on maternity leave right now, but I have enough income to cover the rent on my own.
Wait, what? You had a baby?
I should mention that I successfully gave birth 3 days ago.
Oh.
But don't think you'll have any visitation rights. Once the child grows up, don't try to get involved in their life.
Hey, Chiara, we should really reconsider this divorce.
What?
You're leaving me without a place to live.
Well, I canceled the lease on that apartment.
What? Why would you do that? We're not officially divorced yet. You can't just make that decision.
Actually, we are divorced. I intended to submit the divorce papers as soon as I confirmed the transfer of alimony and child support. Now that I have confirmation, my mom went to the office on my behalf to submit the divorce papers.
You just did that?
Yes, I just got the notification that our divorce was finalized about 10 minutes ago.
10 minutes ago?
So as of now, we are no longer together. There's still a month before the move-out date for the tower apartment, but you have no right to stay there now that we're no longer a couple. You have to leave within 3 days.
What? How can you say that?
I've already explained the situation to the management company. If you don't vacate the premises within 3 days, they will call the police.
The police?
If you understand, then please hurry up and leave.
What am I supposed to tell Caddy?
That's not my problem.
Damn it! Caddy, I can't believe you're just gone when I woke up this morning. That note about breaking up was just a joke, right?
Shut up, you old man!
Wait, what?
I was so excited to finally be living in the tower apartment, but then I find out it's actually in your ex-wife's name. And on top of that, your income is only a third of hers because you're just a temp. How can you not even know that as her husband? Your head is way too empty.
Caddy, you sound like a completely different person.
This is just who I am, after all. You're broke, and you have no place to live, and you don't have enough brains to deal with anything, you loser. I've got nothing to gain from a middle-aged guy who's got absolutely nothing going for him. Just for a brief moment, you should feel grateful that you had any relationship with a young and cute 19-year-old like me. Anyway, see you.
You're not getting away from me. There's no way I'm letting you escape.
Although he sometimes seemed a bit lacking in intelligence, there was something endearing about that. There was indeed a time when I had such thoughts about my ex-husband. I would find myself chuckling at his antics, believing that his innocent blunders added a certain charm to our relationship. At that moment, it was easy to overlook his shortcomings, focusing instead on the warmth he brought to my life. This must be what they call the love filter. It's terrifying to realize how love can distort our perceptions, blinding us to the flaws that ultimately become unbearable. Speaking of terrifying, the aftermath of our relationship unfolded like a nightmare. Just as it is often said that the end of financial support leads to the end of relationships. Samuel was unceremoniously dumped by Katie when the money ran out. It was a classic case of when the well runs dry, so does the love. However, what transpired next was beyond anyone's imagination. Simultaneously with his departure from their luxury apartment, he managed to morph into a stalker. The verbal abuse he unleashed during their breakup was so severe that, ironically, it seemed to ignite a twisted passion in his heart for Katie. It was as if those hateful words fueled his obsession rather than scaring him off. The cruelty of their parting left scars on both of them, but for Samuel, it seemed to morph into an unhealthy fixation on what he had lost. No matter how hard Katie tried to escape from him, Samuel would somehow appear out of nowhere, like a ghost from her past. Sometimes he would look at her with a resentful gaze filled with an unspoken bitterness and anger. Other times he would show up with a creepy, overly cheerful grin that sent chills down her spine. His demeanor almost unsettlingly enthusiastic in the midst of his desperation. It was a jarring contrast, making Katie question his mental state even further. Even Katie, who had always been resilient and strong-willed, appeared to be significantly affected by the situation. The relentless nature of Samuel's pursuit seemed to take a toll on her mental state. It was like watching someone being slowly worn down by the relentless waves of an unyielding sea. The pressure just kept building, and she seemed to be reaching her breaking point. The psychological warfare he waged was exhausting, leaving her in a constant state of anxiety. Currently, it seems that both of them are undergoing treatment in separate hospitals, far from one another. It's as if they're each battling their own demons in isolation, perhaps trying to escape the tangled mess of their shared history. There's a cruel irony in their situation, as both are dealing with the consequences of their choices, but in vastly different ways. Each hospital room tells a story of regret, pain, and the desperate search for redemption. In retrospect, the relationship had always been a roller coaster ride. From the beginning, it was marked by highs and lows, laughter and tears. At first glance, they appeared to be the perfect couple, dazzling in their shared experiences and affection. They traveled to exotic locations, shared romantic dinners, and painted a picture of bliss that everyone envied. Yet, as the initial allure faded, the cracks began to show. Samuel's behavior shifted from charming to possessive, and Katie found herself walking on eggshells, unsure of what would set him off. Initially, their shared life in the luxury high-rise was filled with dreams and aspirations. They hosted lavish parties, inviting friends and acquaintances to showcase their successful life. However, the glamour began to dim as financial strains became apparent. Samuel's job was not as stable as he had portrayed, and Katie's once thriving career faced unforeseen setbacks. The glitzy lifestyle they had created began to slip through their fingers like sand, and the cracks in their relationship widened. As the money began to dwindle, so too did the affection between them. It was as if the wealth had acted as a glue, holding their relationship together, and when that glue began to weaken, the underlying issues bubbled to the surface. The tension escalated, culminating in an explosive arguments that would leave them both feeling empty and drained. Each argument chipped away at the foundation of their love, and resentment began to fester. The final straw came one fateful evening. They had been out to dinner, and the conversation took a turn for the worse. What started as a casual discussion about finances quickly escalated into a full-blown shouting match. Harsh words were exchanged, and amidst the chaos, Samuel hurled insults at Katie that were not only cruel but deeply personal. The wounds inflicted during that fight were deep, and they resonated long after the dust had settled. In that moment, something in her snapped. Katie had always been a fierce and independent woman, but in that heated moment, she realized she could no longer endure the emotional torment. She left the restaurant in tears, her heart heavy with the weight of the relationship's demise. Samuel, in his rage, did not follow her immediately, but instead sat there, simmering in his anger, allowing the reality of their situation to sink in. As days turned into weeks, Katie tried to move on. She packed her belongings and found a new place to live, far away from the memories of their life together. Yet no matter how hard she tried, Samuel's shadow loomed over her. He would call, text, and occasionally show up at her new apartment, each time with an increasingly desperate demeanor. The emotional turbulence of their breakup manifested in Samuel's behavior, and it was clear that he was spiraling out of control. For Katie, the freedom she had longed for became a prison of fear. Every noise in the night sent her heart racing, and the once comfortable sanctuary of her new home felt like a trap. The moments she had once enjoyed alone now felt suffocating, and the weight of her past loomed over her like a dark cloud. She had wanted to be free, but the very person she had tried to escape was now haunting her thoughts, turning her world upside down. The cycle of harassment escalated. Samuel's visits became more erratic. Sometimes he would appear with gifts, trying to win her back with grand gestures that only seemed more pathetic. "Look at what I brought you," he would exclaim, holding out an extravagant bouquet of flowers or a fancy dinner reservation, desperately attempting to rekindle the flames of their past. Other times, he would confront her with accusations and fear, his eyes wide with desperation. It was a terrifying juxtaposition. and Katie felt trapped in a horror movie with no way to escape. Katie soon realized that she needed to take drastic measures to protect herself. After consulting with friends and family, she made the difficult decision to seek a restraining order against him. It was a painful step, but it was necessary for her safety. She gathered her strength and recounted her experiences to the authorities, feeling both empowered and terrified. Each recounting of the harassment brought back waves of trauma, but she knew it was a necessary step in reclaiming her life. However, even with the restraining order in place, the fear lingered like a dark shadow. Samuel, feeling cornered and rejected, became more unpredictable. His obsession intensified, and Katie often found herself looking over her shoulder, anxious at every unfamiliar sound. She invested in security measures, installing cameras and an alarm system, but nothing could fully alleviate the sense of dread that followed her. The situation took an even darker turn when she learned that Samuel had been stalking her online. He would create false profiles on social media to follow her, keeping tabs on her every move. It felt like he was invading her life even more, and she was powerless to stop it. Each new alert on her phone sent her heart racing, a reminder that she could never truly escape him. The digital age had made it easier for him to stalk her from the shadows, further complicating her ability to find solace. Eventually, both of them reached a breaking point. The emotional turmoil and the weight of their past began to manifest physically. Katie found herself struggling with anxiety and insomnia, while Samuel's mental health deteriorated to the point where he was hospitalized. The news of his hospitalization reached Katie through mutual friends, a bittersweet piece of information that left her with mixed feelings and nothing more.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
What on earth is going on here? Wandering around during the day again? As your husband's mother, I am appalled. You're a wife, yet you don't even attempt to take care of the household. Every single day, all you do is waste your husband's hard-earned money. To make matters worse, you're already at a disadvantage in terms of first impressions, considering that you are 5 years older than David. Seriously, why don't you take some time to do the housework? Samantha! You're just out there having fun, so you need to respond to my messages immediately. Ignoring the messages from your husband's mother is absolutely unacceptable. Do you understand? I am currently at work, though. What? I've told you countless times, but I'm not a housewife. I have a job. I go out almost every day during the week because I'm going to the office. After I return home, I handle the housework and I take care of the more detailed tasks on my days off. Honestly, it's been 3 months since we started living together, so can't you at least try to remember my job and how I manage my daily life? I've remembered your schedule, which is why I'm cautioning you. Listen, you need to hurry home and do the housework. You have responsibilities as a wife. You need to take them seriously. I have a meeting coming up right now. What? I have preparations to make, so please excuse me. What do you mean you have a meeting? There is absolutely no way you have a meeting when you're not even working. Samantha! This is getting out of hand. Enough already. It's incredibly frustrating to see you neglecting your duties. Do you have any idea how hard David works to support this household? And yet here you are, spending your days frolicking around instead of taking care of the responsibilities that come with being a wife. If you spent even half the time on household chores that you do gallivanting around town, this home would be in much better shape. How can you expect to earn my respect when you won't even acknowledge the importance of your role? It's infuriating. You need to understand that a marriage involves mutual responsibilities, and right now, you're failing miserably in yours. You say you're busy with work, but do you really think that justifies your behavior? You need to prioritize this family and your duties at home. You may be busy, but that's no excuse for neglecting the home you share with my son. We expect you to be a partner, not just someone who's living here without contributing anything meaningful. Can't you see how your actions are affecting everyone around you? You must change your attitude, or I assure you, this will lead to major problems in your marriage. I really hope you reflect on this and take it seriously. We want to see you as a responsible member of this family, not someone who's constantly evading their duties. So please, Samantha, think about how your actions are perceived and what needs to be done moving forward. David, do you have a moment to talk?
Yeah, I'm free now, but what's going on?
You need to seriously consider getting a divorce from that useless wife of yours.
Huh? Mom, what's going on? When you say useless wife, are you really talking about Samantha?
Of course, who else would I be talking about? That woman is out there playing while you're working hard, sweating away to support the family. It's outrageous to think that even now, at this very moment, she's off having fun instead of contributing to the household.
What?
Just earlier today, I sent her a message telling her to hurry home and take care of the housework. Do you want to know what her response was? She said she had a meeting! A meeting! Can you even believe it? There is absolutely no way that a stay-at-home wife could possibly have a meeting.
Well, that's,
Actually, I was just having a serious discussion with your father about our future, and we're planning to implement something important.
Implement something? What do you mean by that?
Now that's a surprise for you. All you have to do is follow our instructions, so don't worry. Oh, and by the way, you might want to consider getting back to work soon. Good luck with that.
Oh, okay. Samantha, I think you're probably busy with work right now, but I'd really appreciate it if you could reply when you get a chance.
David, what's going on? I'm actually free right now. I've adjusted my break schedule a bit to accommodate some work matters, so I can chat.
I see. Thanks for that.
So, what's on your mind?
I'm not completely sure, but it seems like my parents might be plotting something.
Plotting something? What do you mean?
I'm really sorry, I don't have many details at the moment. I heard about it just yesterday. When I tried to get more information from them, they kept insisting that I should just follow their directions without question.
I see.
I apologize for not having more substantial information to share with you. I genuinely tried to get more insights, but I was concerned that if I pushed too hard, they might get suspicious of me and back off.
It's okay. Just having a reason to be cautious is already a big help to me. Thank you for sharing what you could.
I feel so pathetic right now. The situation with my parents moving in happened because I carelessly got caught in a mess. They moved in while I was away and packed up their things, effectively forcing me into this living arrangement without my consent.
I mean, I was shocked when it first happened, and even now I can't fully wrap my head around it, but there were some unavoidable circumstances surrounding it. They had a major argument with my brother-in-law and his wife, and just like that, they were kicked out, ending up on the street with only the clothes on their backs. In that context, I can't really place the blame solely on your parents for stepping in. It was the cold season, and I simply couldn't let them endure that. If I had tried to kick them out and they had gotten sick as a result, I could only imagine how awful I would feel afterward.
However, I really despise that I find myself being manipulated by those who have no understanding of your work or position. It seems like they never had any intention of trying to understand you from the very beginning. And to top it off, I'm currently relying on you financially. I want to be able to stand next to you with confidence as your partner instead of feeling so dependent on you.
David...
I want you to tell me if there's anything I can do to help in this situation.
Yeah, thank you. So if you get any more information later, please keep me posted.
Is that all you're looking for?
For now, we can't make any moves without information, can we? If I had to specify, I'd say I want you to be careful, not to let my parents catch on that you're keeping me informed about their plans. Since you aren't being suspected by your mom and dad, I'm confident you can manage that.
I see. Okay.
In any case, let's take it step by step and do what we can to handle this. All right?
Absolutely. I got it.
David, could you do me a quick favor?
Sure, what do you need?
I need you to go to the A real estate office in front of S station.
Why a real estate office?
Don't worry, I've already made arrangements. If you introduce yourself at the reception, they should be able to assist you right away.
Okay, I understand, but it might take me some time since I need to finish my current tasks first.
That's fine, as long as you can go in at some point, it will be okay. Just remember to let them know who you are when you arrive, and they'll know exactly what to do.
All right, I'll make sure to mention your name when I get there. I'll do my best to wrap things up quickly.
Thank you so much, David. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'll get it done as soon as I can. Samantha, this is an urgent situation.
David?
I know you're probably busy with work, but I need you to come to the A real estate office in front of S station as soon as you can.
Are you talking about the branch in front of S station?
Yes, that's the one. My mom and dad are thinking about something really dangerous.
Dangerous? What do you mean?
I can't explain everything right now, but it's important that you come quickly. I'll send you a message with all the details as soon as you're on your way.
All right, I understand. I should be able to get there in about 30 minutes.
I'm sorry for the sudden request, but I really need your help. Samantha, thank you for coming earlier. I really appreciate it.
No problem at all. Actually, I think it ended up helping us push our plan forward, right?
Well, yeah, that's true. I guess it did help a bit.
Okay, I'm going to get back to work now. Let's stick to the plan from here on out.
Got it. Mom, I've finished the procedures on my end.
Thanks for your hard work, David. Were you surprised?
Yeah, that was quite the shocker.
I know, right? Originally, my plan was to complete the paperwork just with Dad and then let you know afterward as a surprise. But they told me that any contract-related documents require the person's consent, so I had to inform you.
That makes sense. It's important to avoid any legal issues. If you didn't follow the rules, it could lead to serious trouble.
Oh no, is that true? I'm glad we found out in advance.
By the way, I'll arrange for the moving company for the big day as well.
Oh really?
I have a friend in the moving business, so I think I can get a good deal.
Well, in that case, should I leave it to you?
Definitely. I've got this covered, so you don't have to worry about a thing.
Thanks, David. Oh, I feel so relieved knowing you're handling it. I knew I could count on you.
Of course. I'll make sure everything goes smoothly.
All right, let's keep everything on track, and if there's anything else you need from me, just let me know.
Absolutely. I'll keep you updated.
Samantha, you should be on your way home by now, right?
I'll be arriving soon. Is there something you need?
Well, even when you get back, you won't be able to get inside. That's because I've already terminated the lease on that house.
What?
David took care of all the paperwork for me.
What exactly are you trying to say?
Samantha, you're going to divorce David. I don't think I need to explain the reasons, but since you're living off him, he has decided to move without you. The son of an elite family doesn't want to be tied down to a lazy wife like you anymore.
Huh? A move and a divorce? Did David actually say he wants a divorce?
You don't even need to ask that. I can tell.
Wow, that's quite impressive. By the way, where are you now?
I'm in the car heading to our new place. A friend of David's who runs a moving company is helping us out by providing transportation, in addition to handling the moving of our belongings.
I see. That's interesting. Just out of curiosity, do you know where you're headed?
Of course! We're heading to the beautiful new house that David rented for us.
A beautiful new house, huh? That's great to hear. So does that mean you're returning your husband who earns $1 a day?
Huh? $1 a day?
Well, if David really wants to divorce me, that's what it implies.
Listen, Samantha, please keep your jokes to yourself. There's no way that David, who's an executive at his company, would earn just $1 a day. Don't say something silly like he's unemployed and living on an allowance of just $1.
Oh, wow, you are right on target with that one.
Huh?
David is currently unemployed.
What?
He left his previous job because it was a pretty tough environment and I had to make him quit for his health. Right now, he's attending a school to obtain a national qualification. He takes his lunch with him and buys a paper bag of vegetable juice that costs less than $1 every day, which I give him at the beginning of the month. Just so you know, this is all by his own choice, so I'm not forcing him to do anything.
Samantha, enough with the nonsense! David is an executive who supports us.
Actually, that's my role.
What?
You didn't believe me even when I introduced myself at the time of our marriage, did you? On the contrary, you interpreted it as if David only decided to marry me because he became an executive. I just can't understand how you could think that way.
I even told you that if you checked the executive list on the W Company website, you would see my name there, but now it seems like you've never looked at it even once, right? Well, You might have been skeptical at first, but David and I have been in a committed relationship. I supported him through his journey to become an executive, and I made sacrifices for him along the way. You see, it's not easy for anyone to balance work and personal life, especially in such a demanding role. But now it seems that all of that has been disregarded in your eyes, as if my efforts mean nothing. Do you even realize the sacrifices I made for this family? I mean, David and I had to endure challenges that came our way, and we faced adversity together. You should understand that just because he's not working right now doesn't diminish his worth or the contributions he's made to our family. In fact, his decision to pursue a qualification shows his dedication to creating a better future for us. It's hard to believe you think so little of him. It's easy to say those things when you're not the one dealing with the day-to-day struggles. Look, I don't expect you to understand everything, but at least show some respect for his efforts. This isn't just about money, it's about values and support. If David has decided to take a break to better himself, that's commendable. It means he's taking charge of his life and working towards a goal that will ultimately benefit all of us. Honestly, you should be more supportive and encouraging him, rather than belittling his choices. After all, we're all in this together, and family means being there for one another. But instead, you choose to criticize and make judgments without fully understanding the situation. You're quick to jump to conclusions without considering the bigger picture. So, it really was there. You're the executive director of W Company? By the way, my maternal grandfather is the president of the company. Huh? So then, does that mean the living expenses, since we started cohabitating, weren't actually paid by David? Yes, that's correct. I've been covering all the costs, including those for your unemployed father-in-law and yourself. Wait a minute. So about that luxury apartment rental agreement that I asked David to handle? Regarding that, just before the contract was finalized, he called me in to discuss the situation, and we decided to forego the luxury apartment contract in favor of renting a different apartment. What? A different one? I'm talking about the new place where David and I will be living. What? What are you talking about? David was supposed to move in with us. David is traveling separately in his own car, isn't he? Yes, he should be following us closely. Wait, he's not here? What? We're on the highway. The luxury apartment we were going to contract is supposed to be in the same state. You just realized that now, huh? What is going on here? Right now the vehicle you're in is a black minivan, isn't it? Yes, but... That vehicle belongs to a civil engineering company called Oniwa Group. Oniwa Group? I feel like I've heard of that. Please inform your father-in-law as well. Both of you will be moving into the company housing provided by Oniwa Group. What? Your father-in-law's brother, your brother-in-law, will be living right next door. My brother-in-law? I thought I recognized the name Oniwa Group. It turns out it was your brother-in-law's workplace. He's actually an uncle to David, but I've heard that in his younger days he was quite the wild one. Thanks to the excellent employee training at Oniwa Group, he's transformed from being a rowdy troublemaker known for causing injuries during his antics into a well-respected, charismatic figure who is loved by his subordinates. That's not just charismatic, it's annoying! I can't believe I have to live near someone like that and, on top of it all, work in the same place! But it's a good thing. It's not good! Well, you don't have anywhere else to stay, do you? Isn't it better than wandering the streets unemployed? That's true, but if we cohabitate in your new place... Oh, absolutely not. What? Then I'll be here waiting for David to arrive while I start meditating. Wait! Excuse me. Samantha, wait! David! Hey, respond to me! You're not really heading over to Samantha's place, are you? David! The husband was raised as the only son among two male siblings, a circumstance that inevitably shaped his upbringing in significant ways. He was excessively doted on by his parents, a situation that led him to develop into the kind of good boy who could never defy their wishes or expectations. This environment fostered a sense of obligation within him, creating a long-standing bond with his parents that began to feel more like a curse than a blessing. The expectations they placed upon him were immense, and he felt a constant pressure to maintain the image of the perfect son. This deeply ingrained sense of duty, cultivated over many years, created the sort of emotional bondage that seemed to overshadow every aspect of his life. It wasn't until he encountered me, a representative from a business partner, that he began to see things differently. The reality of his situation was slowly dawning upon him, and our meeting marked a pivotal moment in his life, leading us to where we are now in this complicated yet hopeful journey of self-discovery. After years of living under the suffocating weight of his parents' expectations, David has finally reached a turning point in his life. The moment of liberation that he has longed for has finally arrived. He successfully obtained a national qualification, an achievement that many would consider significant and indicative of a promising future. Since then, he's been diligently working at his new job, a role that not only challenges him, but also empowers him to explore his potential and capabilities in ways he had never imagined. This new chapter in his life marks a shift, not only in his career, but also in his personal growth and development as an individual. However, with the arrival of this new job comes the inevitable challenge of dealing with his in-laws, who are an ever-present source of concern. They embody the kind of overbearing parental figures that can easily undermine one's self-esteem and autonomy. I can vividly recall a recent incident that encapsulated the essence of this issue perfectly. Picture this: a luxury black van, sleek and imposing, pulls up with a sense of urgency and authority. My heart raced as I felt an overwhelming wave of tension sweep over me, an anxiety that was palpable in the air. I felt compelled to confront them, boldly shouting for them to turn back right away. Despite my bravado, a glance around revealed that I was encircled by a group of remarkably strong employees, all of whom seemed to have muscles rippling beneath their shirts, casting an intimidating shadow over me. The sight of these imposing figures surrounding me made my heart drop. My confidence was quickly eroding under their scrutiny, and I felt incredibly vulnerable in that moment. At that moment, reality sank in. The gravity of my predicament was becoming clearer, and my initial bravado began to fade. Instead of feeling empowered by my outburst, I found myself flustered and overwhelmed, almost as if I was caught in a surreal nightmare. The realization of being cornered hit me hard, leading to a flurry of anxious thoughts. I was awash with embarrassment and a sense of defeat, shrinking into myself and letting out a soft sigh of resignation. I felt like I was facing a daunting mountain that seemed insurmountable, with no clear path forward. It took a moment, but it seemed that David and I were both beginning to comprehend the seriousness of our situation. Our precious bravado was fading away, replaced by a sobering understanding of our current circumstances. David's parents, who had always loomed large in his life, were finally making their presence felt in a way that was hard to ignore. Following the confrontation, they seemed to quiet down, and we could only hope that this marked a turning point in their approach. As we transitioned from that tense moment, we ultimately found ourselves entering company housing. The atmosphere was heavy with the weight of what had just transpired, yet there was an undercurrent of hope and resilience that began to bubble to the surface. In this new living arrangement, David was finally able to confront the very issues that had held him captive for so long. It was a time for reflection, growth, and ultimately, transformation. The combination of strict yet loving education that he was now receiving was crucial in helping him break free from the emotional chains that had bound him. It was clear that he was undergoing a transformation, albeit a painful one. He was gradually being molded into a more resilient version of himself, one that could stand tall against the pressures that had previously defined him. The idea of being toughened up was more than just a saying, it was becoming his reality. While he navigated this new chapter, it became evident that he was struggling, often brought to the brink of tears as he faced the harsh realities of life without the protective bubble of his parents. But this struggle was necessary. It was a trial by fire, a way to reshape his character and instill a sense of determination that had been lacking for so long. Each day was a test of his resolve, pushing him to dig deep and find the inner strength he never knew he had. It was a daunting challenge, but one that was essential for his personal growth. I could see the changes in him, not just in his demeanor, but also in the way he approached challenges. The man who once cowered in the shadow of his parents was slowly emerging from that shell, albeit with great effort. The journey was far from easy, but with every hurdle he faced, David was becoming a more complete person. Someone who could finally start to carve out his own identity and separate from his family. The education he was receiving was strict, designed to instill discipline and a sense of accountability. Yet there was an undeniable element of love woven through it all. It was this blend of rigor and affection that would eventually help him break free from the emotional chains that had bound him for years. The concept of tough love became a guiding principle in his transformation. David was learning that while it was important to have love and support, it was equally vital to understand the value of hard work and perseverance. As he began to embrace this newfound philosophy, I could sense a shift in his confidence. The once timid man was starting to stand a little taller, his shoulders squaring as he faced the world. No longer was he just the boy who did everything his parents wanted. He was becoming a man capable of making his own decisions and asserting his own will. With each passing day, he was building a foundation for a life that he could truly call his own. While the journey was still ongoing, I was optimistic about where it would lead him. David had already shown tremendous strength in his pursuit of independence, and I believed he would continue to do so. With the support of those around him and the gradual shedding of his old self, he would ultimately emerge as the man he was meant to be. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey, hurry up and get dinner ready. And you haven't done the laundry either.
Xander, I'm on my way home from work right now. I told you I had to stay late because of overtime, remember?
Don't give me excuses. You weren't even home when I got back from work. You're failing as a wife. I've already told you if you don't shape up, I'm going to divorce you.
Even if you say that.
Don't start making excuses again.
I'm working too, you know. It would be nice if you considered splitting the household chores.
I told you to stop with the excuses.
I'm sorry.
Do you think apologizing is gonna fix anything? Do you actually want me to divorce you?
Yes, that would be fine. In fact, I already filed for divorce.
What?
I just came back from the city office where I submitted the divorce papers to the after-hours reception. I have no intention of returning home. That's why I packed my things before heading to work today.
Wait, what? Hey, hold on a second. You need divorce papers to get divorced.
About that, do I even need to ask where the divorce papers are? How many times have you thrown signed divorce papers in my face screaming about divorcing me? It's been countless, right?
I only did that to motivate you, to make you a better wife. I didn't mean it for real.
Well, looking at the massive stack of divorce papers you've shoved at me over the years, anyone would think you were pretty serious about it. It's a little hard to see it any other way.
But I told you it wasn't like that.
Anyway, the papers have been submitted and we are now officially no longer married. As for the things I left behind at your place, I don't need them anymore. Feel free to throw them away.
You even moved your stuff out already? Damn it, I'm gonna sue you for damages. How about that?
Huh?
Do you know how much I'll make you pay in compensation? Hundreds, maybe.
If we're talking about compensation, you'll probably be hearing from my lawyer soon. Please look forward to it.
What? Why the lawyer?
Well then, goodbye.
Hey, Bethany! What's this about a certified letter showing up talking about alimony? What the hell is going on?
If you got the certified mail, you should know what it's about.
I didn't do anything that'd make me owe you alimony. This is insane!
Have you actually read the documents I sent you?
Something about me cheating, right? That's nonsense. You've got no proof, so stop trying to scare me. You're just doing this because you're panicking over how you'll get by now that we're divorced and you want a lump sum. Well, I'm not falling for it. You can forget it.
Xander, don't you realize that the very fact a professional lawyer is involved means there's already proof of your infidelity?
What?
I have enough evidence to make a strong case, which is why my lawyer agreed to take it on. Unlike certain people who throw around threats of alimony without any basis, my case actually holds up. You didn't think things through, did you?
You can't be serious!
Oh, and another thing, my financial situation is fine, thank you very much. I wasn't struggling to make ends meet. In fact, I was earning more than you were.
What?
Yep, so no, I don't need your money to survive. But I do expect you to pay the alimony that you owe, and let me be clear, I will only accept a lump sum payment. No installments or dragging it out.
Bethany, I need to talk to you about something.
What is it? I've already received the full amount of the alimony, and we're not exactly on terms where you can just casually ask me for advice. Honestly, I'm planning to block you any moment now. So I'd rather you stop contacting me altogether.
Well, actually, I was wondering if you could, temporarily return the alimony.
What? Do you even understand what alimony is? You want me to return it? Seriously?
You see, the thing is...
The thing is what?
I got hit with another alimony demand from Avery, too.
Oh, Avery. Right, your mistress. The one you started dating after you lied about being single. She's the wealthy girl, isn't she?
I mean, we loved each other so much, but now she's suddenly demanding alimony to break up? It doesn't make sense.
You can't actually be saying that, right? Like, are you seriously pulling this poor misunderstood guy act right now? You've got to be kidding me.
Huh?
I mean, let's be real here. You do realize you could have been slapped with a lawsuit for marriage fraud, right? What are you even talking about, acting like the victim in this?
Marriage fraud? What are you even talking about? I didn't commit any fraud.
You don't even see it, do you? You are such a disaster. You lied to her, pretended you were single, and started a relationship with her. If money or any kind of marriage arrangement has gotten involved, this would have been a whole different legal mess. You should be thankful you're only dealing with alimony.
Are you serious? But how? How did Avery even find out that I was married? I mean, right after I paid you the alimony, she hit me with her own demand out of nowhere. This is crazy. I'm almost out of money, and now I don't even know if I'll have enough to cover my living expenses. If this keeps up, I'll not only run out of savings, but I might end up in debt. It's insane.
You really are hopelessly stupid.
What did you just say?
Did you seriously not get it? Did it never cross your mind that maybe, just maybe, Avery and I coordinated this? That we were in contact?
What?
You didn't even consider that, huh? Of course not. Well, let me fill you in on something you seem to have missed. The reason I found out about your affair with Avery in the first place was because her parents reached out to me.
Her parents? Wait, what do they have to do with this?
Yeah, it turns out that when you're dating the daughter of a prominent wealthy family, they tend to do their homework. It's not like they're just going to let anyone date their daughter. So they dug into your background and found out that, surprise, you were married. And once they knew, they contacted me directly. They told me everything, with proof, by the way. They even said, your husband is cheating on you and pretending to be single. He's deceiving our daughter. They had all the receipts, Xander.
Wait, what? Are you telling me her parents got involved in this too?
Of course they did. She's their daughter. They care about her. They were the ones who did the digging and figured out the truth. They weren't about to let their little girl get played by a two-timing jerk like you. And once they knew, they made sure I knew too, with every single detail laid out clearly.
I can't believe this! So that's how all this happened?
Yep. They reached out to me first, and then they let Avery in on the truth once they knew I was taking action. The reason her alimony demand came after mine was just because they prioritized making sure I was okay first. Honestly, I think they were being pretty considerate.
So you're telling me I got double-teamed by you and Avery's family?
Exactly, and I'm sure if things had gone a little differently, if they hadn't found out when they did, you'd be facing much worse than just alimony payments from both sides.
This is unbelievable!
It's actually completely believable. You dug your own grave, Xander. Now you get to lie in it.
But But what am I supposed to do now? I'm completely screwed. I don't have enough to pay Avery's alimony on top of everything else. I'm running out of options here.
Well, that sounds like your problem now. I've done my part, and frankly, I couldn't care less what happens to you. You're the one who created this mess, so you're the one who has to deal with the consequences. Good luck with that. You're going to need it.
Bethany, please, isn't there anything you can do to help me out? Just this once?
Not a chance. You made your bed, and now you're going to sleep in it. Have a nice life.
I've ended up in debt, and now it's out that Avery is the daughter of a client company's president. I can't even stay at my job anymore. I have to quit. Even my mom disowned me after finding out the whole story. It's just been the two of us, me and my mom, this whole time, since I grew up in a single-parent household.
Annoying. I just finished work, and I'm finally getting a moment to relax. I don't want to see your whiny messages. Actually, scratch that. I don't want any messages from you ever.
But
I was thinking of watching your behavior for a bit before blocking you, but you know what? Forget it. You're irritating, and honestly, you're just a hassle to deal with.
I'm worried about my mom. I care about her.
What?
You and my mom used to get along, right? That's why I want to ask for your advice.
Advice, huh?
My dad passed away when I was 22, and all my grandparents are gone too. If my mom disowns me, she'll be all alone. It'll be just her from now on, living in loneliness.
Hold on, did your mom disown you without telling you anything?
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, your mom, she got married to a man she's been dating for the last 3 years. He's the same age as her.
What?
What are you trying to say? Calm down. Jeez, it's not that hard to type married, is it?
Wait, married? My mom is married? What do you mean?
Yeah, she got married. And since you clearly don't know, your mom's already planning for the future. Once she retires, she and her husband are moving into a retirement home together. They've already started preparing for that life.
They've already decided all that? And wait, why do you know all this? I'm her son. She never told me anything.
Well, she and I had plenty of conversations about love and relationships, woman-to-woman stuff. She probably told me first because of that, but you? She probably didn't get a chance to tell you because right when she was going to, she found out what you'd done.
What I done?
Let's see, you betrayed me, your wife, by cheating, and then you lied to your mistress, Avery, and told her you were single. When your mom found out about all this, she was absolutely devastated. She cried, apologized to me and Avery over and over again.
Mom cried?
Yeah, your mom's new boyfriend, her husband, was really concerned about her and tried his best to cheer her up. They ended up rushing their wedding because of the emotional toll it all took on her.
So, am I the only one left alone in all of this? Bethany! Finally, I'm back! Sorry to keep you waiting.
Who is this?
Your husband!
My husband? The phone number doesn't match the one of my fiancé.
It's me, Xander!
What?
Yeah, I know the number's different. That's because I had to change it.
I had you blocked. You actually went out of your way to change your number just to contact me? That is really creepy.
Yeah, the number's different because I couldn't afford my phone bill for a while, so it got cut off. But guess what? I finally finished paying off all my debts. That means I could get a new phone and sign a fresh contract.
Wow. So you finally managed to pay everything off? How commendable.
Yeah, I've been working like crazy to fill the void, you know? Being all alone, it's tough. It's only been a few years, but it felt like an eternity.
So let me get this straight. You're saying that you got a new phone and that's why your number's different?
Exactly, and I'll make sure you save this number in your contacts, all right?
I'd rather not.
Oh, come on, don't be like that. I get how you're feeling.
My feelings? What are you talking about?
I heard you're still single. You know what that means, right?
And what exactly does that mean?
It means, I knew it, you've been waiting for me all this time. It's got me really emotional, honestly, so I've got the marriage papers ready. Let's fill them out and submit them to the city office today. Then we can finally start living together.
Huh?
By the way, where are you living now? I'll come right over.
As if I'd tell you.
Wait, why not? If you don't tell me, I can't come see you.
I don't want you to come.
What?
Sure, I am technically single at the moment, but I am living with my fiancé.
What?
Yeah, he's nothing like you. He's kind, considerate, and he helped me heal after everything you put me through. I don't need you. He's the one I'm going to marry.
You've got to be kidding me. No way, this can't be real. Tell me you're lying.
You are so annoying.
What?
Maybe it's time I consider changing my phone number too.
Bethany!
For now, I'm just going to block you again. Bye.
Bethany!
Several years have passed since all that chaos unfolded, and just when I thought I had completely left that part of my life behind, something absolutely absurd happened. Fortunately, I now find myself living in a different region, having moved away with my family to start anew. We've settled into a completely new area where we have no previous connections, so I don't have to worry about anyone from my past unexpectedly showing up at my doorstep. This gives me a great sense of relief, knowing that I've severed all ties to that old life filled with drama and heartache. As time passed, I assumed that my ex-husband Xander had finally given up on trying to rekindle our relationship. After everything that happened between us, it seemed evident there was no point in pursuing a reconciliation, especially considering the mess he had created. I thought I wouldn't hear about him again after I moved away, but, of course, it seems that drama follows him like a shadow. Now there's an unexpected twist in his chaotic saga. It turns out that after he realized getting back together with me was hopeless, he set his sights on Avery, the woman he cheated on me with. One might assume that after everything he put me through, he would learn from his mistakes and find a sensible way to move on. But no, Xander doesn't do sensible. Instead, he decided to pay an unannounced visit to Avery's residence, which happens to be a high-end apartment tower, a place with impressive security features. You would think that gaining access to such a location would be challenging, especially for someone with no legitimate business being there. But somehow Xander, in his usual reckless fashion, managed to bypass all security measures. I can only guess how he managed to pull that off. Maybe he sweet-talked the security personnel, or perhaps he simply got lucky. Regardless, he found his way to what he believed was Avery's apartment, and there, he made an absolute fool of himself by professing his love for her. But instead of finding Avery waiting for him, he was met with a different reality. Avery had already moved out. When the door finally opened, the person who greeted him wasn't the woman he was desperately seeking, but a small, unassuming man who had no idea what was going on. This new tenant had probably been enjoying a quiet day at home when Xander's antics interrupted his peace. Instead of stepping back and realizing that Avery had moved on, both physically and emotionally, Xander jumped to the ludicrous conclusion that this man must be Avery's new boyfriend. Fueled by jealousy and desperation, he lost all sense of control. He didn't just confront this stranger, he exploded in a fit of rage, yelling and causing a huge commotion in the hallway. His irrational behavior escalated quickly, resulting in him attacking not just the man, but also the apartment itself. In his blind fury, he destroyed several pieces of valuable furniture and exquisite decor, some of which were worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. By the time the building security team finally responded, it was too late. The damage had already been done. They escorted Xander out of the building, but not without serious repercussions. The new resident was not going to let this incident slide without taking action. He pressed charges, and on top of that, Xander faced a hefty bill for all the destruction he had caused. The cost of repair and compensation mounted up to a staggering amount, one that was far beyond Xander's financial capabilities. And just like that, Xander found himself falling back into the dark pit of debt that he had only recently managed to escape. After putting in so much effort to pay off his previous obligations, he was right back at square one, now burdened with even more loans and financial troubles than before. His reckless attempt to win Avery back had not only failed spectacularly, but it also landed him in a far worse situation than he had been in during our tumultuous marriage. As for Avery, well, she likely never even found out about Xander's ridiculous outburst. She had already moved on, both in terms of her physical location and her emotional state. I can only imagine that she's now living her best life, far away from all the chaos that Xander tried to drag her into. And me? I'm grateful to be distanced from that entire mess. It feels like I'm watching a poorly scripted drama unfold from a safe distance, utterly astonished that I was once part of the same narrative. Honestly, Xander's downfall is a never-ending cycle of his own making. He has yet to learn how to take responsibility for his actions. Instead, he continues to shift the blame onto others, dragging everyone else down with him in the process. But at some point, you have to realize that your choices have consequences, and those consequences don't simply vanish because you wish them to. It's a tough lesson that Xander has failed to grasp, and from the looks of it, he will keep repeating the same mistakes until he finally does. For me, I've found happiness and stability in my new life. Moving away was undoubtedly one of the best decisions I have ever made, and I feel liberated having all that drama behind me. I found peace in my new environment, where Xander's presence is nothing more than a fading memory. His rage and desperation can no longer reach me, and that's a liberating feeling. In the end, I don't feel pity for Xander. After all he put me through and all the turmoil he created for others, this kind of outcome seemed inevitable. His ability to move on, his reckless actions, and his refusal to take accountability have led him right back to the dark place he has always tried to escape. And maybe that's where he'll remain unless he finally decides to change his ways. But for now, that's his burden to carry, not mine. As I reflect on everything that's happened, I can't help but feel a sense of relief wash over me. I've turned the page on that chapter of my life and stepped into a new one where I am free from Xander's toxicity. I'm no longer weighed down by his actions or the consequences of our past. I have the opportunity to build my own future, and I am determined to make the most of it. Now, I wake up every day feeling grateful for my life. I'm surrounded by people who support me, and I am focused on my goals and dreams. I've learned to appreciate the simple things, like enjoying a quiet morning with a cup of coffee, taking a stroll in the park, and spending quality time with loved ones. My life is filled with positive experiences that I never thought I would have again after everything I went through with Xander. Even though I occasionally hear stories about his misadventures, I find myself laughing rather than feeling any anger or sadness. It's almost comical how his life has spiraled out of control, all due to his own choices. The absurdity of it all brings a smile to my face, and I'm finally in a place where I can appreciate the irony of my past, knowing that I've moved beyond it. So, while Xander may continue to wallow in his own mistakes, I'll be here, living my life to the fullest and cherishing every moment of my newfound freedom. I've closed the door on that chaotic chapter, and I have no intention of looking back.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Payday is coming soon, right? About this month's remittance. Huh? This month, I'm going to raise the amount again.
Wait a minute, Mom? Is this some kind of joke? If you raise the amount any higher, I won't be able to afford my own living expenses.
What are you saying? It's only natural for children to send money to their parents.
Yes, I understand that, and I'm still sending money, but can we talk about the amount? It's becoming unreasonable. By the way, is Dan still sending his remittance? Is it still the same amount, $1,500 every month?
Of course, Dan is so successful, talented, and such a dutiful son. There's no way I'd burden him with more.
Yeah, I shouldn't have asked. But listen, I can't increase it anymore.
What?
Like I said earlier, I really can't do it anymore. Even right now, I'm barely managing to make ends meet. If you push me further, I really won't be able to survive.
Then just cut back on your expenses even more. It's as simple as that.
If I cut back any more, I'll be living a life that's not even human. I'm barely living as it is, and you're asking me to scrape by even more?
Then just work harder and earn more money.
Do you even hear what you're saying? You're asking me to sacrifice everything just to increase the remittance, and for what reason? It's ridiculous.
Don't you have any sense of duty towards your family? You left this house out of your selfishness, so it's only right that we decide the amount you send back.
I left because I had no place in the house, not because I was being selfish. And let me remind you, I'm already sending you $3,500 every month. That's a huge amount. If you include Dan's contribution, it's a small fortune. Besides, isn't Dad receiving his pension starting this year, and didn't he get rehired after retirement?
Well, yes, he's still working.
So you're getting his pension and he's still earning a salary, right? And on top of that, you're asking me to increase the remittance? It's just you and Dad at home now. What kind of extravagant life are you living that justifies asking for more? I'd really love to hear an explanation of where all this $3,500 is going.
Stop being so selfish.
How am I being selfish? I'm not increasing the amount, period. It's already too much, and if you keep pushing, I might just lower it.
What? How dare you talk back to your own mother like this? Can't you listen to your parents?
Look, even if you are my parents, there are limits to what I can agree to. Don't you understand that? I can't just do everything you ask for without question. All right, I have said my piece. Bye.
Wait, Ruth, come back here.
Ruth, is it true that you haven't sent this month's remittance yet?
Yeah, I haven't sent it.
Why not?
Because Mom made an unreasonable demand and I'm holding off until we resolve it. Once things are settled, I'll send the money.
But you promised that you'd send money every month when you moved out of the house. That was the condition, wasn't it? This is starting to look a bit selfish, don't you think?
Wait, are you going to ask me to increase the remittance like Mom did?
Well, yes, I think it's time you raised the amount. Honestly, I believe it would be a good opportunity for you to learn how to manage your finances more wisely.
What are you even talking about? Look, Dan can afford to send $1,500 a month because he runs his own company and earns over $100,000 a year. But my situation is totally different from his. I told Mom the same thing. If you expect me to send more, I won't be able to cover my own living costs. I'm seriously begging you, cut me some slack.
Ruth, what exactly do you do for a living?
What do you mean by that?
Well, I thought you were in a specialized profession with the potential for high earnings. But if you're telling me you can't survive after sending the little amount of money you do, I have to wonder, are you really working properly or are you just wasting your money carelessly?
What?
Given the current situation, it's hard not to think that. Look at Dan. He sends $1,500 every month without complaint. You, on the other hand, send a mere $100. Do you even respect your parents?
$100? Wait, what are you talking about?
Yes, $100. That's all you send, while Dan is sending 10 times that amount. What does that say about you?
Wait. What do you mean $100? I've been sending $3,500 every month.
$3,500? Are you serious?
Yes, 5 years ago when I first moved out, I was sending $1,000 a month. But then it kept increasing because of things like Mom saying she needed money for medical appointments or that she had to take out a loan to replace the car or that the electricity bills were too high. So little by little, the amount went up until about 6 months ago when it reached $3,500. All that time, I kept sending the money because I felt it was my duty after moving out, and I lived as frugally as possible to make it work. But recently, my coworkers started to notice how I was living, and one of them even scolded me, saying I need to think about my own financial limits. That was when I realized how absurd it had all become.
Ruth, I'm telling you, the fact remains that we've only received $100 from you.
I swear, I have been sending $3,500.
Are you still saying that?
Of course I am. It's the truth, and I've been doing it for months now.
Don't lie to me. If what you're saying is true, then stop the payments.
Wait, stop them? What do you mean?
I'm saying if you're really sending that much, then stop. Let's see what happens.
Wait, are you seriously telling me I can stop sending money? You don't want me to reduce the amount, but just stop entirely? $0?
Yes, you think we can't survive without your remittance? We're not living in such poverty that we'd struggle if your money stopped coming in.
Oh, so that's how it is.
However, if you do stop sending money, don't even think about stepping foot back into this house. You'll no longer have a place in this family.
That's fine by me.
What?
I moved out 5 years ago with no intention of coming back. I started my own life, and if you're telling me I can stop the remittance, that's the best news I've heard in a long time. It's a huge relief.
Wait, Ruth!
Oh, and make sure to let Mom know too. I'm done. Bye.
Why is she so happy?
Ruth, hurry up and send the remittance. For now, I'm fine with the usual $3,500. Just make sure you transfer it today.
Huh? I'm not sending any more remittances.
What? You can't do that. I'm in the middle of dealing with so many bills. The payment deadlines are coming up fast.
Like I said, I'm not sending any more money.
Are you really going to break the promise you made when you left the house? If you don't start sending money again, I'll bring you back home.
Excuse me?
If you want to continue living on your own, then send the remittance right now. And from next month, I expect you to send $4,000.
Wait, Mom, are you telling me not to come back home or that you're going to force me to come back? Which is it exactly?
I'm saying that if you stop sending money, I'll make you come back home.
But Dad told me if you stop sending the remittance, we'll never let you set foot in his house again.
What? He really said that?
Yes, he told me that yesterday. So before you start giving me an ultimatum, how about you and Dad get on the same page? Look, even if I were to start sending money again, I'd prioritize my own life first. And if I do decide to send anything, the amount will be a lot less than what I've been giving you.
Hey, where are you?
Oh, Carter, I thought you were at work today.
I finished early because of some maintenance at the office building.
Oh, I see.
So where are you now?
I'm just out shopping a bit.
Come home without buying anything. I just checked the mailbox and we received a collection notice.
What? A collection notice?
Are you in debt?
Yes, but it's not what you think. I didn't mean for this to happen. I've been trying to manage my finances.
This is serious. How could you let it get to this point? You need to explain what's going on right now. Ruth, please, I need you to start sending the remittance again.
Huh? Dad? What's with the sudden request? I thought you said you wouldn't have any problems without my remittance.
Well, that's not quite the case. The other day I found multiple collection notices addressed to your mother.
Collection notices? What do you mean?
It seems she had been collecting the mail and hiding it before I could see it. They were right in the mailbox, but she made sure to keep them away from me.
So this means there's debt involved?
Yes, it's quite a significant amount, actually. We're talking about hundreds of thousands.
What? Are you serious? So my remittance of $3,500 has been going toward paying off that debt?
Apparently, that's exactly what was happening. They've been borrowing money and paying it off, only to borrow again. Your remittance was being used as a way to keep this cycle going. But now the amounts they've been borrowing have increased, and for various reasons, they've been asking for more money from you.
What about Dan? What's his remittance situation?
I double-checked with him earlier, and it turns out he was actually sending $2,000 instead of the $1,500 we thought.
Wow. So he's sending even more than we realized. That's still less than my $3,500, right?
Well, yes, but that's possibly due to how your mother feels about each of you. She's always had a soft spot for Dan.
Yeah, I know. Mom definitely dotes on him, but still, $2,000 is quite a lot. I guess that really shows how desperate they are for money right now.
From what I understand, of that $2,000, around $1,500 is purely for living expenses.
Right. So it sounds like they're really in a tough spot financially. But given everything, I think it's impossible for me to resume sending money at this point.
Wait, why do you say that? Don't you think we should find a way to help them?
First, we need to understand the reason behind their debts. I mean, what led them to this point? Why did Mom take out loans in the first place? And what has she been spending the money on?
That's a good point. We need to have a serious conversation with your mother about this. We can't just keep throwing money at the problem without knowing the full story. This cycle has to stop somewhere.
Exactly. I want to help them, but I can't just keep feeding into this without understanding what's going on. I also have my own finances to manage.
Right. And you should not be put in a position where you're sacrificing your stability for theirs. We need a plan.
Yes, we definitely need to get to the bottom of this. Once we talk to Mom, we can figure out what's truly needed and how to move forward from here.
Ruth, I want to apologize for the horrible things I said the other day.
Huh? Oh, you mean the conversation we had last time?
Yes, I know this sounds like an excuse, but I genuinely had no idea about your mother's debt. I had completely entrusted her with managing the household finances. I was led to believe that your remittance was only $100 and that Dan was sending $1,500. I took that at face value without questioning it. Then one day I happened to overhear your mother mumbling about the remittances, and without fully understanding the situation, I ended up complaining to you.
Okay, Dad, I appreciate your honesty. It's good to know you weren't fully aware of everything.
I truly am sorry for how I reacted.
Thank you for saying that. Now, do you have any idea what caused her debt? I've always thought she was a bit careless with money, but I never imagined it was serious enough to accumulate debt. What could have happened?
Well, it turns out she got really into hosting.
Hosting? You mean like she's been spending money on that?
Yes, apparently. From what I've gathered, she was doing more than just socializing. It seems she got heavily involved in that lifestyle.
Oh my God.
I truly believe this is going to lead to a divorce.
Yeah, I can see that. It's definitely a complicated situation. But Dad, how do you even handle something like that? A mother over 60 getting into debt from hosting? It's just so hard to process.
I know, it's rough, and honestly, it's painful to think about. I never thought we'd be in this situation. I've always believed we could get through anything as a family, but now it's like everything is unraveling. I feel a mix of anger and sorrow.
I get it. This is beyond just a financial issue. It's about trust and family. I can't believe she would put herself in this position at her age. It's just heartbreaking.
Exactly. It's not just about the money, it's about how it affects our family and her health. I worry about what this means for her future. How could she be so reckless?
It sounds like she was trying to fill some kind of void in her life, but she ended up making things worse. I mean, is this really the path she wanted to go down? It just seems so out of character for her.
I know, right? It makes me wonder what she's been feeling, or if she's going through something we didn't see. Maybe she's been feeling lonely or unfulfilled. Whatever the reason, it's clear she needs help, and we need to address this together.
Yes, we definitely need to have a serious discussion with her. I'm not sure how she'll react, but we need to confront this issue head on. It can't go on like this.
Agreed. Let's try to figure out a way to support her, but also make sure she understands the gravity of the situation. We can't just let this spiral further out of control.
Ruth, you've been living in this apartment, haven't you?
Huh? Mom, what are you talking about?
This apartment, room 105.
What about it?
I just ran into a resident from here, and they told me that ever since you moved out 2 months ago, that room has been empty.
First, I want to know how you even found out about that room. I never told anyone my new address since I left home.
When I went back to the house, I found a New Year's card addressed to Grandma. It had your old address on it.
Oh, that card. I actually moved right after I sent that out. I plan to send Grandma a moving notice once I get settled in.
Why would you choose to move out at this time?
I was able to move to a more secure place because I no longer need to send remittances. It seemed like the right decision. So you came all the way here for what? That must have taken at least 2.5 hours on the fastest bus from your house.
I got divorced from your father. Right after that, I returned home. But when Grandma found out the reason for the divorce, she declared that she never wanted to see me again. I heard your father went to Dan's place, and as for that host boyfriend of mine, well, he dumped me.
Wait, are you saying you have no choice but to come live with me?
I mean, what else am I supposed to do? I don't have any other options.
No way, you're joking, right?
Why would you think that?
I already know why you got divorced.
What do you mean? Who told you? Well, it's not like it's a secret. It's about the debts, your obsession with those hosts, and finally, the infidelity, right? Just the thought of having a mother who lives like that makes my skin crawl. I can't possibly live with you. Ruth, please! Oh, think about everything I've done for you while raising you. I thought we could live together again as a way to repay that. You lied to Dad about how much I send home every month. I know you've been secretly borrowing money and making those payments behind my back. I don't want to be dragged into any more of your messes, all right? Ruth, about your new address. I'm not telling you. Wait a minute. Goodbye.
What on earth is she thinking? I truly cannot understand my mother's thought process. To be honest, I don't even want to understand it. After all, she failed to come to me for help, and now, because of that, she really has no place to go. For several days, she's been wandering around the nearby park, seemingly lost and without direction. While I was searching for her, I was approached by a group who had apparently been looking for her too. Before I knew it, they took me along with them, and I felt an odd sense of connection with these strangers, united by our concern for someone who had once been a central figure in my life. The days turned into an agonizing blur as I tried to piece together my mother's whereabouts. I could picture her in the park, sitting on a bench, staring off into the distance, seemingly lost in thought. I imagined her mind racing with all the burdens she carried. Is she reminiscing about better times or contemplating her next move? It's troubling to consider that her situation could spiral even further into despair. I remember the times when she was a vibrant part of my life, full of laughter and warmth. Those memories felt like a distant dream now. The thought of her aimlessly wandering without purpose gnawed at my insides. I had always assumed she would reach out if she needed help, but her silence spoke volumes about her state of mind. Was it pride, shame, or something else that kept her from turning to me? Days later, I encountered a group of people who seemed genuinely concerned about her. They approached me, asking questions about her whereabouts. Their faces were a mix of worry and sympathy, and I felt a strange kinship with them, despite not knowing them. It struck me how many lives my mother had touched, and yet she was now isolated and alone. They led me to a cafe nearby where we sat down to discuss what we knew. I learned that this group had been trying to find her for a while. They recounted stories of their encounters with her, how she would often sit alone, engaging in conversations with strangers, offering her insights on life, and sometimes sharing bits of her own struggles. I listened intently, taking in every detail, feeling both comforted and alarmed by the kindness of these people. As they spoke, I felt my own frustration bubbling to the surface. I should have been the one helping her, not these strangers. It was disheartening to realize how disconnected I had become from her reality. Perhaps I had been so consumed by my own life that I overlooked the signs of her distress. It dawned on me that I should have done more to reach out and check on her. How could I have let her fall through the cracks like this? One of the individuals in the group shared how they had seen my mother around the park, often appearing lost or withdrawn. Their words painted a picture of a woman who was not just my mother, but a person struggling to maintain her sense of self amidst a storm of challenges. Each story reinforced my commitment to find her and help her find her way back to stability. After several exhausting days of searching, I received an unexpected call from a friend of my mother's. He mentioned that there had been some unusual activity in his bank account. A deposit made by my mother. I felt a mixture of relief and dread wash over me. On one hand, it seemed she was still alive and functioning in some capacity, but on the other hand, it meant she was still entangled in a web of debt. The knowledge that she was engaging in financial transactions, even if they were questionable, added another layer to my concern. I shared this news with my father and brother, a reunion of sorts after years of silence. It was awkward at first, with so much unspoken tension hanging in the air. However, as we began discussing our mother, an unexpected warmth began to surface around us. We reminisced about the good times, family gatherings, birthdays, and the laughter we shared. Those memories felt bittersweet, contrasting sharply with the current reality we faced. My father, with his furrowed brow, spoke up first. I always thought she would find her way back. She's a strong woman, but lately, it feels like she's lost her way. My brother chimed in, his voice laced with concern. We need to figure out what's going on with her. This can't go on. She can't keep living like this. I nodded in agreement, feeling a surge of determination. We all knew we had to do something, but what? As we talked, an unspoken understanding began to form between us. We recognized that it was time to mend the frayed bonds of our family. The weight of our collective worry about our mother pulled us closer together. We realized that we needed to support each other through this challenging period,
despite the long-standing distance and silence. My brother looked at both my father and me and said, "We should make it a point to check in on each other. Even just a simple text now and then would mean a lot." My father nodded in agreement, his expression softening. "You're right. Life is too short to be distant. We need to look out for each other, especially now." With that renewed commitment, we made a pact to stay in touch. It felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. We were no longer alone in this struggle. The tension that had once filled the room gradually dissipated, replaced by a shared sense of purpose. Dan, who had been quietly listening to our conversation, chimed in with a brilliant idea. "Why don't we create a family group chat? It'll be a fun way to share updates and keep each other in the loop." His suggestion sparked a sense of excitement among us. It felt like a fresh start, a small yet significant step towards reestablishing our family ties. We quickly set up the group chat, each of us sharing our contact information and a few lighthearted messages to break the ice. As the messages flowed in, I felt a renewed sense of hope. Perhaps this was exactly what we needed, a way to connect without the heaviness of our current situation overshadowing everything. We could share photos, jokes, and everyday moments, creating new memories even amidst the chaos. I left the meeting with my father and brother feeling lighter. Despite the gravity of our mother's circumstances, I had hope that we could find a way to support her together. I realized that family didn't have to be perfect, it just had to be there for one another in times of need. In the following weeks, we kept the group chat active, sharing snippets of our lives and encouraging one another to stay connected. I felt a sense of belonging that I hadn't experienced in a long time. Even though my mother remained elusive, I took comfort in the knowledge that I was not alone in the struggle. Then one day I received a message from my brother. He had managed to track down one of our mother's acquaintances. "I spoke with someone who said they saw her last week," he wrote. "They said she seemed okay, just a bit withdrawn. It's not much, but it's something." I felt a surge of hope. It was reassuring to know that she was alive and, at least outwardly, appeared to be fine. But my heart still ached for her. I couldn't shake the feeling that she was in over her head, struggling with demons we couldn't see. As the weeks turned into months, our family dynamics began to shift. We made an effort to reconnect, sharing not just our concerns about our mother, but also celebrating the milestones in our lives. Birthdays and anniversaries became occasions for us to come together, even if virtually. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.